Everybody ready? Okay. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call our meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, June the 6th, 2017, and for the record, it is 7 p.m. The first item is consideration of minutes from our Wednesday, May 31 agenda meeting situation. Those minutes stand approved as written, or are there corrections?
Make the motion we approve as submitted.
Motion's been made, we approve the minutes as they're written.
Second.
It's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, there being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. Accordingly, the minutes are passed. We've had no requests for citizens' comments, so we move on to our agenda, which appears to be quite lengthy, but we'll move along as quickly as we can. The first item, which is an amended item to the agenda you received, is a presentation by Nash County Travel and Tourism Director Barbara Waskowiak. Did I say that correct? Okay. Barbara, would you come to the podium and state your name and address for the record, please, and we'll move on from there.
Sure. I am Barbara Waskowiak. I am the Executive Director of Nash County Travel and Tourism. The address there is 100 Coastline Street, Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Thank you.
Yes. And I do have Robbie Davis here with me for support from
Okay.
TDA. And what I want to bring to y'all is, you know, being in tourism, we are partnered with Visit NC, which is the one that promotes North Carolina. And something that I have found out, they have a program there for the retirement community. And we are looking into this. We wanted to do it for all of Nash County, but the cost is too much. So we thought we would go with Nashville as the county seat. And what we get in return for that is we get listed on the Visit NC's retirement website. They go to different trade shows where you have potential retirees that are there looking for places to retire to, that they will promote us. We will get leads from this, so you'll get anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000 leads. We'll be on all their social media marketing. We already do have some other areas around here that is not Nash County that are already on this. And we feel like this is so much worth us being part of. It is a $10,000, which Travel and Tourism feels like this is something that we need here because we are perfectly located. We are a great place to come and retire. We have the hospital right here close. We're close to the beach, we're close to the mountains. It makes sense that we're part of this. That $10,000 will be for 5 years, so it's $2,000 a year of getting all of this promotion. Any events that are going on in Nash County will also be promoted by them as well. And we are also allowed to go to these trade shows that they have as part of this.
Is this $10,000 a one-time thing?
One time, yes.
Is any more money attached to it?
Only if we want to do something extra. Like if we want to do our own brochures or we want to do our own website or anything else that we want to do.
Super. Any questions?
What are some of the other communities or towns in the
Tarboro is one of them, Lumberton's one, Edenton's one.
How long has Tarboro been on board?
I'm not exactly sure how long they've been on board with that. Easily could find that out. But the marketing alone is more than worth it to have Visit NC push us for this. And I know they have magazines that go into the welcome centers as well and into the retirement homes. They'll be pushing it as there. So it would give Nashville a good way to be promoted for people to come here. And it just takes one person to move here to more than pay for it. So it's extra promotion.
Is there a website that we can log on to see how it's promoting other communities?
Yes, you can go into retirenc.com, retirenc.com.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other comments?
Are there any obligations of the town?
There will be a community, you know, you got to have a committee to put this together. So, and I don't think there's any problem getting anybody to come and help us put this together. If anybody does come in, that we can show them the area, and yeah, you'll have a lot of people that will want to be involved in this. Probably your real estate, of course, you know, we'll also be in there so we can talk about the area, and anyone else that you feel like you would want on this committee.
Will this have any impact with our present senior center?
It's a possibility it could, because, you know, if we get our retirees here in the area, you know, it's a possibility.
Yeah. Well, it might be if this plan goes forward, that you consult with those folks and see if we can interface with them in some way,
Mm-hmm.
because it's all one town.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. How long do we have to make a decision on this?
You have until July the 31st
Okay.
when that stops, so.
Okay. Okay. Well, let us take all this under advisement and discuss it at our next meeting,
Okay,
and we'll get back to you.
sounds good.
Okay?
All right, thanks.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our next item is the presentation of the Twin Counties Partnership for Healthier Communities. Shakira McCoy, Chair of the Twin Counties Partnership Community Action Board. Ms. McCoy, will you come to the podium and state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, good evening. My name is Shakira McCoy. I am a clinical nurse specialist and transitional care program coordinator at Nash UNC Healthcare in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. The address at that location is 2460 Curtis Ellis Drive in Rocky Mount, zip code 27804.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
I appreciate your time allowing me to come to speak to you all this evening about our Twin County Partnership for Healthier Communities. While I am an employee of Nash UNC Healthcare, I actually am standing here wearing my Twin Counties jersey for the partnership. This does represent a joint partnership between Nash and Edgecombe counties, and we're actually under preparation for our community leadership luncheon, which is why I wanted to speak to the council members here, as we are garnering support to have members present from both counties from a leadership level. With the Twin Counties Partnership for Healthier Communities, it is a partnership of like-minded individuals that are working together to proactively and collectively strategically promote and support a culture of health and wellness and unity in the Twin Counties Partnership. It represents members from health systems, nonprofit agencies, community providers, anyone who's interested in changing the scope of our communities so that we can promote health and wellness activities. And so this partnership was brought together uniquely by Kate B. Reynolds Charitable Trust back in 2015. And so since that time, we've organized a community action board. We have subgroups that are specifically designed to focus on physical and behavioral health as one subgroup, communication, coordination, and collaboration as a second subphase, as well as the active living work group. And so in the March, we actually had a partnership with UNC School of Institute of Public Health, and they conducted a survey. Some of you may have even participated in that survey, where they surveyed homes both in Nash and Edgecombe counties through a door-to-door process, and they would like to share that information back with the community. Now, part of this data is being used to drive through the work groups, develop specific actionable plans for where community members are specifically interested. And so we want to not only share that with leadership, because we need that support for changes that may be needed on a local level, as well as methods to be able to better engage our community. And so that's primarily what I want to share. So I did bring with me on this evening information specific to our one-page document, which is actually a little bit more than one page, but it kind of outlines some of our mission, values, and goals and objectives related to this partnership.
Okay, thank you.
We do have some contact information up there also if there's any additional questions or concerns.
Okay, if you just leave that with us, and we'll move on that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Leave it with our planner. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, the next item is a presentation from the Nashville Fire Department from Jason Edwards, who's going to bring us up to date on his home smoke alarm program.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm glad to see you guys tonight. I basically just wanted to let you guys know what's going on with our organization. Recently, we have partnered with the J.C. Burns Center and the State Fire Marshals Association to offer free smoke alarms to our citizens within the town and the Gully District. And we're going to be doing this by going door to door, just like we've been doing. But with this new program, we're going to be partnering with the J.C. Burns Center and the Firemen's Association. The purpose of this is basically just to make sure there are working smoke alarms in every home and to educate our citizens on fire safety. Our organization is going to be joining other organizations such as City of Fayetteville, Oxford, Williamston, and as far west as Cherokee. So we're on a list of a bunch of fire departments throughout the state, from the coast to the mountains. Our goal is to install 200 smoke alarms, and each alarm that we install, J.C. Burns Center will give us a $5 credit to NFPA for fire prevention material. So we're really proud of this. We're ready to get started. And the only thing we ask is you guys just pass the word along to your different communities so we can come out and try this campaign. Any questions?
Jason, is this a similar program that you all had before?
It is. It is very similar. Really the only added thing is this partnership with those two agencies and this $5 credit that we're going to be receiving towards prevention materials. So, and we're not obligated to that 200 smoke alarms. If we see that we can only do 100 and Williamston, right up 64, needs our extra 100, then we'll just send those up the road. And if we see that we need theirs, vice versa. So, but I really think we can do all 200. So,
Do you have this on our public television channel?
not yet. And that is something I'll be getting with Ms. Bunch about. And we're going to try to partner with the sheriff's office, try to partner with the PD, the community paramedic through Nash County. So, we're going to try to bring in a bunch of organizations to do this together. So,
Okay, very good.
When you plan on hitting the street with this program?
after today, really, we're going to try to do door-to-door campaigns on the weekends. Probably around 10, 11 o'clock in the mornings, and run for about 2 hours, so we're not bothering folks, but really want to try to hit the town, but not only the town, into our Gully district, so. Right.
Okay, super. Everybody questions? Got any questions?
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, Jason. Okay, the next item on the agenda is consideration of a proclamation in appreciation of Bobby Dunn, which you can find in your package under the first blue tab. As I reference these things, I may give you the wrong color tabs, and I understand we ran out of tabs and we've got some mismatched tabs as we go through things. But we were asked to create a resolution for Bobby, who spent a long time coaching around here. He's going to have a program on Saturday night, June 10, to honor him for various and sundry things. So let me read this, and we'll see if we can get it approved. It's a proclamation in appreciation of Bobby T. Dunn. Whereas Bobby T. Dunn will be honored on June 10, 2017 for his contributions to Nash County education and athletics. And whereas Bobby T. Dunn graduated from North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University in Greensboro, North Carolina in 1959 and moved to Nashville, North Carolina. And whereas Bobby T. Dunn had a successful career in Nashville as an avid educator and coach for the Nash County school system for 26 years, from 1959 through 1969, and again from 71 through 87. And whereas Bobby T. Dunn is known as the leading athletic coach in our area, and whereas, following his time in Nashville, Bobby T. Dunn continued to serve the youth through his work in Elizabeth City, Pasquotank Board of Education in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, for 8 years, and with the Police Athletic League in New York for 14 years. And whereas Bobby T. Dunn continues to mentor, coach, and counsel students at Northern Nash High School and at Zebulon Middle School, and whereas Bobby T. Dunn has consistently demonstrated his dedication to the encouragement of others in countless ways and has earned the respect and affection of the people from Nashville to New York, now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Nashville Town Council, on the celebration of this appreciation ceremony, do hereby honor the accomplishments and service of Bobby T. Dunn. Proclaim the 6th day of June 2017 with appropriate signatures and attestations. Does the chair hear a motion to approve this proclamation of appreciation?
Second.
Been moved and seconded, we approve it. Is there any discussion? There being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Very good. And that will be presented Saturday night. We got it framed up and all that. Okay, good. Okay, the next item on the agenda has to do with an application for the permit for the street event for the Church on the Rise Missions Color Run. At this point, I have to pause. Councilman Coleman has asked it because of his association and his family's association with his church, he be recused from this vote. So, Mr. Coleman, if you'll stand down for the duration of this.
That's right. My wife is an employee at the church as an office
Right.
staff member. So.
Yeah, okay. If you'll stand down, we'll move on. Madam Clerk, let the record show that he's been recused, and we still have a quorum remaining. Okay, we had a hearing last Wednesday night on this concerning the street run, of which there was no opposition. Does the chair hear a motion we approve the consideration?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, we approve the street run. Any discussion? All in favor indicate so by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. Accordingly, it's done. Okay. All right, thank you. Item number E is consideration of a resolution ordering the closing of that portion of the alley bordering the properties on the corner of Western Avenue and Clark Street. We had a hearing on this the other night, and there was no opposition to it. Does the chair hear a motion we approve the resolution?
So moved.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, we approve the resolution. Is there any discussion? There being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. It is passed. Okay, item number F is consideration of a special use request to establish a daycare facility on the property located on 400 Essex Road. This property is zoned R10 Medium Density Residential District and is identified as parcel ID 380116838503. At the agenda meeting the other night, we had a hearing on this, and then we had a joint public hearing with the hearing board, with the planning board, and the planning board met later on this and voted unanimously for it to occur. Does the chair hear a motion that consideration be approved?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the consideration. Is there any discussion? There being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Item G is consideration of an ordinance amending the text of the Town of Nashville Code of Ordinances, Chapter 26, Parks and Recreation. Let's see if I can find that. I've gone so far ahead here. One too far. We've been requested by our Director of Recreation to include or to amend the ordinance for pets out in the park. Currently, there's a ban on pets being in the park except for service animals. And we were getting requests from people who like to walk their dogs on the walking trails out there. So what we want to do is look at Section 26.5 of our rules and regulations concerning animals and delete Section G, which says pets are prohibited unless used as a service animal. Service animals are supposed to be on a leash. By adding Section G, all dogs shall be maintained on a leash not to exceed 6 feet, including trails, and must be in constant control of the owner. And the rest of it talks about the responsibility for the owner for cleaning up and any damage their pets do, they're responsible for, and these sorts of things. And this is, as I understand, restricted only to the walking paths, and the cans are going to be put around out there for dog waste, and people will be encouraged to look after their things. If anybody's got a bad and ugly dog, they'll be asked to move him away. And still, there's no restriction on the service animals, as we've talked about. Okay, the chair hear a motion to approve
So
this?
moved.
It's been moved
Second.
and seconded. We approve the change to the ordinance. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, I'd just like to make a note that, even though we're passing this for our current parks, for future discussion for the board, I think we need to, look at some of the abandoned property, some of the properties that we can't build any buildings on, and consider putting a small dog park somewhere in Nashville.
Right. I've had a number of requests for that, and we have stopped and started on it several times, but never got it
I
underway.
would
But
like for us to crank it up.
yeah,
again.
we'll move on with that. Okay. Is there other discussion? Okay, there being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Okay, it is done. Item number H, consideration of a planning board appointment. We have a vacancy on our planning board, and we've had a recommendation by our planning and development director that Kate Burns be appointed to the vacant position. You've read her bio in the paper, which is in your package, which is really a dynamite thing. She lives right around the corner from here. And he recommends Kate Burns fill the vacant seat on the National Planning Board. This term is set to expire in 2018, and she'll be eligible for reappointment as desired. Okay, with all that said and done, does the chair hear a motion to approve this appointment?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded we approve the appointment of Kate Burns to the Planning Board. Is there any discussion? There being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no.
Is Ms. Burns here?
Ms. Burns, will you please stand to be recognized? Kate Burns. Thank you very much. You live right around the corner on Alston Street, correct? Great. We certainly appreciate you being willing to serve. Because we have trouble keeping boards filled with people, and our planning issues, as things pick up with more and more business and building and other things going on, is going to be quite busy in the future. Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, the next item is consideration of surplus items. Sort of a curious thing here. Our recreation director tells us that there are 42 football jerseys that are not in use and not planned to be used, and recommend they be surplus. And I guess these will go into the gov.deals thing and try to sell them. Okay, and we even got us a picture of them. So, does the chair hear a motion we declare these things surplus?
So moved.
It's been moved and
Second.
seconded, we declare the football jersey surplus. Is there any discussion? Okay, there being none, indicates all present, there, excuse me, all in favor will indicate so by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. Okay, it is done. Okay, item J is consideration of resolutions for payment. We've got two items here. And again, I have to read these things, as all resolutions have to be read, which I've read about 10 times over the last 10 months. Yes. Okay, whereas the North Carolina General Statute require pre-audit be performed by the finance director before the town incurs an obligation, and whereas general statutes state that failure to perform the pre-audit requirement makes the contract agreement or purchase order void, and whereas general statutes further provide if an officer or employee of a local unit incurs an obligation or pays out or causes to be paid out any funds in violation of the pre-audit statute, he and the sureties of his official bond are liable for any sum so committed and dispersed. And whereas general statutes also provide if the finance director disapproves a bill, invoice, or other claim, the governing board may step in and approve payment. And now therefore be it ordained on behalf of the mayor and council that through this resolution, the town of Nashville Town Council does hereby approve the following invoices for payment, of which there are two. A vendor to All Star Sports Products in the amount of over $300 for team sponsorship for the Fire and Recreation Department. And then banner printing from Key Printings for a total of $283.96. The first thing with All Star Sports is something that Roger White did for us. That was kind of a matter of a comedy of errors with everybody missing things. Mr. Manager, would you care to bring us up the details of what happened with that, how it did get paid the first time around?
Sure. My understanding with this item is that the fire department historically has sponsored a T-ball team for our recreation programs, and Mr. White provided the uniforms, hats, etc. for the ball team, and Mr. White had not provided a written quote to the fire department so they could complete a requisition. And an invoice was later provided to the fire department after the ball season was over with. So at no point were the funds ever encumbered.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, now be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be spread upon the permanent records of the town of Nashville adopted the 6th day of June 2017. Does the chair hear a motion to approve the resolution?
So made.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the resolution. Is there any discussion? There being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. It is done. Okay, the next item are tax releases for the fiscal year 26 and 2017. This may sound kind of odd, but what we're doing here is giving money back to people who've actually overpaid their taxes. And it amounts to two persons in the amount of $135.34. Does the chair hear a motion we approve this tax release?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, we approve the tax release. Any discussion? If there being none, indicate so by, there being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. Okay, it is done. And now consideration of budget amendments, okay. We've got a number of these. There were some that we had to have corrected because the arithmetic worked out wrong. I think our manager's got copies. I didn't get the change copy. Do I? Yeah, I did. I've got them right here. I'm sorry. Anyway, what we're doing is cleaning up the end of the year like we always do, moving stuff around. We got two sets of these things. The first group are ones that the council have to approve. The last group are those that the manager's already approved, because the manager, as you know, is empowered by law to be able to move money around that's in budget items within departments not to exceed 10% of the fund. The others, however, require legislative action. Sometimes we handle these collectively, sometimes we handle them individually. What would be the council's pleasure? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to handle. Would you like them individually or all collectively?
Mayor, unless there's some question about any particular one, I would suggest that we just do them all collectively.
Okay, anybody have questions on anything?
The one that wasn't documented before that is documented now, I think,
Which one is this?
with the hospital insurance.
Oh, the hospital insurance. Yeah, that's something we had to find money for to pay up front, because the insurance picks up in July, but we have to pay a month ahead for premiums. And this is money they cobbled together from everywhere to make the premium payments for July. This is actually coming out of 2016-17 budget going into the 17-18 year expenditure of college. So actually it's rollover money. And I'm not sure what all those numbers mean, where it came from, but it's a fair amount of money. Would you care to speak to that?
Sure. Where the money's coming from is just relevant to the fact that that's where money was available here, that we don't anticipate needing to close the year out. The reason that this has occurred is because in order to switch over to the state health plan, the way they do their billing practices, you always pay 1 month ahead for coverage. So this would only be an issue for this one time, but since we plan on switching over to that health coverage July 1, we're gonna be required in the month of June to pay for July's coverage, which crosses another fiscal year.
Question, since we have budgeted the health payment for the new fiscal year, obviously we're gonna be hanging on the end, at the end of the year, so that money will roll over to the next year, just like we're doing with this one now?
Well, you won't save the money. What'll happen is the June payment of 2018 will
Will
pay
be
for
for-
July of 2018 in the 18-19 fiscal
Yeah.
year.
That was my question,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
What was the 20,000 from the capital outlay? The 22,000 for administration, capital outlay.
That would have been the financial software that was never
Never.
Never
purchased.
purchased, yeah. Okay. Okay. Are we all in agreement we're gonna do these collectively? Is the chair here motion we approve these, all these budget amendments?
So made.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, there being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. Accordingly, she has passed. Okay, the next item coming up is amended capital project ordinance. And this one is kind of mean. Let me read this thing. Yeah, this is the CFI project we had going, that we put money in, we had to go back and revisit, put some more money in it, to the tune of $600,000 more dollars. Okay, be it ordained by the governing board of the town of Nashville, North Carolina, that pursuant to section 13.2 of chapter 159 of the general statutes for North Carolina, the following capital project ordinance is hereby adopted. Section 1, the project authorizes a part of the economic development project associated with Carolina Innovative Food Ingredients. Section 2, the officers of the town of Nashville are hereby directed to proceed with the capital project within the terms of the adopted resolutions and the budget contained therein. Section 3, the following amounts are appropriated for the project. Surveying and design, permitting and engineering is $92,500. Grant administration is $47,500. Construction inspections is $27,200. Easements and legal costs are $32,200. Construction with the Elm Street bypass is $69,300. Construction of the gravity outfall line is $2,133,291.92.
Mayor, I thought that was $2,143,291. According, when we,
Where did you collect that number?
when we were in closed session.
I'll have to ask somebody else about that. Brian?
Yes, ma'am, you're correct. If you add the line item construction gravity outfall line plus the abandoned Elm Street lift station, those two figures add up. It was bid together.
So we all have the same numbers?
Yeah, we're all speaking the same language, yes, sir.
So then we see, where was that contingency, $112,600 abandoned Elm Street lift station. I can't believe it's costing so much money just to walk away from something. For a total of $2,524,591.92. Okay, and on the following page, the following revenues are anticipated. From the town of Nashville, $1,302,866.92, which is coming from our enterprise retained earnings fund, which has hit it pretty heavily. At the Golden Leaf Foundation of $200,000, the Economic Infrastructure Program of $450,000, the Community Block Development Grant $479,925, and the town of Nashville with the CFI loan is $69,300, and Carolina Gateways Partnership for $22,500, for a total of $2,524,591.92. Okay, section 5, the finance officer is hereby directed to maintain within the capital project fund sufficient specific detailed accounting records. Section 6, funds may be advanced from the general fund as necessary for the purpose of making payments due. In section 7, the finance officer is directed to report on a quarterly basis the financial status of the project. In section 8, the budget officer is directed to include a detailed analysis of past and future costs and revenues on this capital project and every budget submission made to this board during the duration of the project. In section 9, copies of this capital project ordinance shall be furnished to the clerk of the governing board and to the budget officer and to the finance officer for direction in carrying out this project. And then I assume it's going to be adopted the 6th day of June of 2017, proper signatures and so forth. We had to redo this, of course, to add in the extra money that was requested to come up to meet the bids. Okay, the chair here motion to we approve this amended capital project ordinance.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, there being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. Okay, accordingly it's done. Okay, the next item is consideration for the advertisement for real estate. Okay, this is what we do once a year for people who've not yet paid their dues. We have a letter from our budget office. It says, in compliance with the general statutes 105-369A of the Machinery Act of North Carolina, attached is a real estate tax listing for the tax year 2016, which depicts those individuals having not paid their current real estate taxes. In accordance with the above, I await your order to advertise the same in compliance with the general statute 105-369-369C between March 1 and June 30, 2017. So tonight we have to empower our budget people to advertise these things. And the total amount of tax money that we're owed right now, if you look at the last page, which I don't seem to be able to put my hand on,
43,000,
is $48,000.
43.
$43,000. And of course, 9,000 of that is in one account, which will eventually get to us, because it always does. Okay, so we got to advertise all these. And a few of these things, you'll notice your arrangements have been made for people to pay these things in the oral schedule. Okay, the chair here motion that we advertise the real estate liens.
So moved.
Been moved and seconded that we approve this. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, the only thing I have to ask, some of these figures, well, most of them are a little small, minuscule amounts, but I guess people just hadn't done it. Hopefully they will come forward and pay their taxes, but some of them, without me knowing specifically, the numbers seem like there may be an overlap from a prior year. Would that be okay? Would that be the case?
It's the same, it's generally the same people all the time,
Same people all the time?
generally, yeah.
And I know we have started doing some debt set-off for some people for not paying water bills. Will we be able to do it with these tax liens? Ms. Marvin?
We're hoping to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Right now, at this time, we cannot send these to debt set-off, but
Yeah.
they're working on an agreement where we can send these to debt set-off. But we have to, first of all, we have to have social security numbers, and that's the holdup, is sending them to debt set-off, is that we do not have social security numbers for these individuals. So debt set-off is trying to work on an agreement where they can search for social security numbers, and we can obtain these social security numbers for these individuals. But without a social security number, we can't send it to debt set-off.
In the place of a business, do you just use tax ID number then?
We've got social security numbers for people for water bills, but we don't have them for taxes. We do? Is that true?
That is correct, because, when an individual comes in to set up service, their application requests their social security number. We don't, the county keeps the records for the taxes.
Right, okay.
We
Okay.
don't, request social security numbers. We have no way of requesting social security numbers.
See, 'cause some of these people are not even in this town.
Right, yeah.
We've probably never seen them.
Some of them are dead.
Yeah, some of them are dead.
Some of them are dead.
Yeah, some of them are dead.
The bottom line is 43,669. That's a police car. It's a salary for a police officer or firefighter.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Well, by the witching time, we'll have most of this in anyway. It works out about the same amount every year. Okay, further discussion? Okay, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. You'll notify the people to go forward with the advertisement. Okay, and the next item are budget amendments that our manager has approved. You bring us up to speed on those, Hank.
Sure. You want me to go through them each one?
Okay, well, it says on your report you're gonna do that, so go ahead with that.
Okay, I'll start with the budget amendments and follow up by the monthly report.
Excellent.
The first amendment, budget amendment 41, is in relation to increase in 3810, 3100, and 3820, 3100, which is the gas, oil, and tires line for the water department and the sewer department. That was so that we could afford tires before the year closed out, and we had money remaining in maintenance and repairs for trucks and for vehicles. Budget amendment 42 was for an equipment repair in sewer, when we did not have any remaining funds. So $2,200 was taken out of contracted services. And budget amendment 43, which is the fire department, $1,500 went towards the purchase of foam that was depleted for the department, and $6,000 was needed for repairs that they were dealing with. So we have remaining funds going on in gas, oil, and tires and equipment maintenance. Budget amendment 44, this money was moved because it did not fit the definition of a departmental supply. This involves the sewer department. Anything that's a capital item, meaning it has a value of over $5,000 and a life cycle of more than 1 year, is considered capital. And due to the, when this went towards a pump that was needed, because of the expense, it was reassigned to capital outlay equipment, which required a budget amendment. Budget amendment 45 moved $500 to advertising from miscellaneous. This was so that we could post and advertise for the library director position. We had exhausted all of our advertising funds.
And that is posted and circulating?
That has been posted with the League of Municipalities, the town website, and also the state library's page.
Okay, excellent.
In the police department, the $2,300 and $200 was related to a contracted service for a program that they needed to deal with licensing services. The remaining funds existed in supplies. The budget amendment 47 for $2,000, that was to cover a course for myself. That half of it will be reimbursed. It was a scholarship I received from the North Carolina City and County Managers Association for half the cost of the course, but it had to be paid out before the close of the fiscal year, so we'll be reimbursed those before the end of the year. Budget amendment 48 for recreation. This was for the purchase of phosphate for an environmental camp that the recreation director has planned, and she did not have remaining funds in the 4,500 account, so that was moved to 3,300. In budget amendment 49, we had exhausted our funds for postage for our tax bills, and we can't send out tax bills if we don't have postage, so that's important. We have some remaining funds in printing. Budget amendment 50 went towards paying a permit that was sent out by the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality. This was a permit we were required to pay, and we had funds remaining in materials and supplies. And budget amendment 960 went towards the app sheet licensing program for the police department.
Okay.
Budget amendment 55 is the funds that would allow us to pay off the water and sewer line, the Highway 58 line, which we've been paying on for 15 years now. This would be the final payment. It would allow us to make that payment before the fiscal year is closed out. As you know, the final payment is due July 1. So this money was moved around so that we could close out that capital debt service. And budget amendment 56, we had one employee have overtime compensation that was not budgeted. It was related to providing services during the Blooming Festival, so this needed to be amended to cover those costs from materials and supplies. That paid for street sweeping. In the fire department, this $2,000 was moved into vehicle maintenance and repair parts to cover some issues going on with the 2007 engine. The last update I have from the chief, there's concerns that the transmission may have to be replaced. We're hoping that's not the case, but at this point, we know we've got $2,000 worth of repair expenditures.
Which engine is this?
The 07. And the final budget amendment, which is number 58, $50 was moved to cover dues for myself for the North Carolina City County Managers Association that were outstanding for the year.
Okay. Okay, these already been approved, so that's,
Yes, sir.
that's it.
The distinction with the budget amendments, the ones I've signed are all intra-departmental transfers, where the ones that are approved by council are interdepartmental, or from one department to another, or they're appropriations to be placed in the budget.
Creating new money, yeah. Okay, other comments?
Yes, Mayor. In our department reports, I'll start with the planning department. They'd like to note that the charging station, electric charging station that we've been talking about for months is now in place and should be operational in the very near future. We're just waiting on a $50 adapter to be installed, and we'll be ready to go. And we'd like to thank Duke Energy for this unique grant opportunity. Webby Shaved Ice business is now open in the old Domino's location off of Washington Street. The old Strix building downtown is now operated by a business called The Painted Teacher and opened on Blooming Festival weekend.
The painted,
The Painted Teacher.
the painted teacher,
Right.
that sneaked up on me.
Planning Department would also like to note that the resurfacing project for this year should be finished the week of June the 12th, and be aware that notifications will be placed on affected properties, and traffic will be impacted for a couple of days. So they will receive some door hangers to know that that's going to take place.
Do we have a map of those streets?
I don't have that with me, but it's what's in our street sidewalk plan that we discussed during the retreat.
It might be good if we get one, maybe put it on the bulletin board up in the town hall, just to get people thinking this way.
Okay.
In our police department, thankfully, we had no incidents, no criminal incidents during the Blooming Festival. We've also hired Tristan Stallings as a sworn police officer. We've also are recruiting for one open police position right now, and that will become 2 positions come July 1, with the addition of a new position to the budget. In regards to our HOPE initiative, we had our second largest month of participants. We had 16 participants this past month and are now of over 150 participants in the program. The chief reports that the problem is getting worse and that people have come from, in the past month, from Greensboro, Hickory, and Wake County to participate in this program. In the Public Works Department, I know they've had a lot of work going on, cutting and clearing down streets and trying to keep up with grass. I know they had a down tree on Break Street yesterday evening dealing with the storm that snuck up on us. And our Parks and Recreation and Cultural Resources Department would like to report that they had 100 participants at the Beauty and the Beast movie night, which is a significant increase from previous participation for movie programs. The registration for football and cheerleading is now available at Town Hall and online, and a camp for football and cheerleading will begin on July the 17th. Registration for soccer will also occur this fall. We'll also be offering an environmental camp for those between the ages of 6 to 8 on June 19th through the 21st, as well as for ages 9 to 11 from June 26th to 28th, and also a sports camp for ages 6 to 8, July 10th through 12th, and ages 9 to 11 for July 17th through 19th. We've got some sponsors for the environmental camp that include CPRO, Great Expeditions, and North Carolina Wildlife Commission, as well as the Northern Nash High School Environmental Club that will be volunteering to participate in that program. We also have our second of our 4 concerts in our music series coming up on June the 9th. This is coming Friday evening. We'll have Brooke McBride out of Ashboro performing for us. And we also are playing on June the 17th, The Secret Life of Pets film. This is a pet-friendly event that will occur out at Glover Park, where there will be vendors for pet owners present along with a rescue. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Any comments, questions? Okay, we're down to council comments. Before we get started on that, I'd like to observe that the day is June 6th, D-Day. For those who remember that, back across my life, I've met hundreds of people who were involved in D-Day. That group now is down to a handful, of which I know only one. And that group's getting very old. Okay, who want to start? Mr. Coleman?
Sure. First of all, I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I love seeing participation at our council meetings and seeing everyone here. Second, Brian, I want to publicly thank you for the map that you gave us with the real estate items on there. This is very helpful, especially the aerial images that show all the town's properties and such. It's really good for the filing purposes. If anybody ever has any questions about that kind of stuff, it's really good information to have. And for the good work you're doing, I appreciate you, man. Marguerite, I want a special call out to you tonight. I participated in the Parks and Recreation Cultural Resources Advisory Committee meeting a couple weeks ago, And I just want to say she's doing a phenomenal job with that program. As you could hear Hank reading off just a list of things that they got going on between the movie series and the concert series and the sports camps. And I'll tell you, I had a good group of people, and I know George is here tonight too from the committee, and good group of people on that committee, and a lot of participation. And so I'm very, very thankful for us having her and her hard work in doing that. Hank already mentioned the concert happening this Friday. I believe it starts at 6 o'clock for anybody that's interested, and we have a couple of food trucks that's going to be out there. So if you're interested at all in coming out, you know that it's not free food, free concert, but not free food. But there will be some good food trucks out there with some really good stuff. I know Koi Pond will be there, and Rib Crib, and a couple other things, whatever. So, and they have little stuff for kids as well and stuff. So it's a really good, fun family time at the environmental park. I also appreciate the new sign that we got put up there. I saw the pictures of the new sign. If you hadn't had a chance to go by and see it, it's actually two signs, one at the entrance and then a bigger one as you're going back there. So, you know, getting the word out about where the park is. You still talk to people that say they're not sure where in Stony Creek Environmental Park is, but just keep getting that word out. And then for Ms. Burns, I just appreciate you being out here tonight and coming and showing your face, and I look forward to working with you on the planning board and hopefully working with us to make some good decisions. So, thank you.
Okay, wow.
I think Michael said everything.
He played the entire tape.
I took notes.
One thing I did want to ask about the mattress retail store. I noticed that was in the memo.
What retail store, I mean?
The memo that I got from Hank said there's mattress retail store
Yeah.
possibly located in any.
Yeah, we cut loose a zoning certificate last week to a company that's going to sell mattresses. It's right across from Ribeyes in that little shopping center with the daycare and the church.
Okay. Where the internet sweepstakes place used to be?
The same place, yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I guess there's money in mattresses. Okay.
Apparently.
Okay. Who's next? Mr. Taylor?
Mr. Coleman is such an eloquent speaker. I'll just second whatever he said.
Okay. Mr. Taylor?
You know, when you're last, there ain't a whole lot you can say. They've covered everything. But I do want to take this time to, what was said in your report, Mr. Rapp, about we didn't have any incidents, and the police chief walked out. Oh, no, he's in the back. I want to thank the police chief and the fire department and the rescue personnel that were on duty for the Blooming Festival activities through that weekend. And that's one of the, because those guys were so visible, that's probably one of the reasons we don't have any problems. There were policemen everywhere, rescue people everywhere. The fire department did a great job blocking the streets off to prevent any food from coming through. So all that's attributed to our staff, and we've got a darn good staff around here, and I appreciate the work that they do. Chief, thank you. Jason, pass it on to the fire department. You guys did a great job. Thank you.
I get compliments all the time on how well our towns run, how polite our people are, how efficient they are. I'm proud of my town. Okay, thanks everybody for coming. The chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Being no further business, I move we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor will say yes.
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 Anyone opposed can spend the night. We stand adjourned.